Today we're going to be installing the Hessian top cloth that we made in a previous video into our Warre Hive. But first of all, I'll just take you on a little tour of my allotment and we'll go over the tools and things that I'll be using today. So it's quite a small allotment. I've just got a little shed here where I keep all my gardening stuff and my smokers. So I've got a new one there, and this is my old one, that one there. I can also keep my beekeeping tools in here, got smoker fuel there, and a few other bits and bobs. Outside, well, the bees are down there in a 2-meter high cage. That's part of the allotment policy on keeping bees. There has to be a cage around them so that they go up and away from people, so they're not actually flying straight into the path. My beekeeping stuff is a pair of gauntlets, a veil and hat, a natural beekeeping comb cutter, that's only if I want to take comb out, and just a standard beekeeping hive tool. This is the Hessian sack that we made in the previous video. I've cut it to size, and as you can see it's much stiffer, so much easier to place and take off of the hive. So we'll take the hive tool. Oh, over here is just some cappings and pollen that I had from straining some honey, and I'll just feed this to the bees today as well. Give the bees that and just see how they are. Are they angry or are they okay? They seem alright, there's quite a bit of activity, but they're all quite calm. I'll put our Hessian cloth over here, and we don't really need the hive tool yet. So I'm not wearing my veil at the moment. So I'm just being extra careful not to disturb the bees, because I don't want to get stung, but it's because I'm wearing the camera on my head and it's quite difficult to see the bees. So we've taken the quilt box off. Sounds like there's quite a lot of bees underneath there, so I think I will go and get the smoker and just give them a little bit of smoke on the top there, just to push them down away from the screen, because we're going to be swapping it for our new one today. They don't seem to be bothered when you take the quilt box off, as long as it's warm enough outside. So what we need to do is light our smoker, take our clip off, open it up, I just make these, I just get little bits of paper, cut them up, and then I've got them ready to go, so I'm not faffing about trying to find starter fuel. And then we've got a nice bit of string, makes great smoker fuel. So I just need to find my knife. That stuff puffing out is just old paper from previous. I didn't knock it out. I should have knocked it out really. Okay, that should do. Keep that one going a minute. Okay, we're back at the hive. Bees are a bit more active. Let's give them a little bit of smoke just along the top there. Give them a little bit of smoke there. And you can see by having the soft material, the bees don't mind it as much because it's not so loud. So then we can place that one down there, and we'll take our new one, give the bees a little bit of smoke. Smoke me, because I don't want them to smell me. And pop that one back on. The new one's a bit better fit as well, which is nice, because the other one was a bit small. Just press it down gently. Give it a little bit of smoke, keep the bees away from it. Go down, little man, little lady. Down you go. Okay, that's about it. Pop the quilt box back on top. There we go, lovely. And then we pop the roof back. Lovely job. Just move it forward slightly. And then we'll take the strap and pop that back over the hive just to help in case there's any wind. Don't want the hive to fall over. Doesn't need to be too tight. It's not compressing it like that. Okay, well, what bees have we got on here? too many. Might just give them a little puff of smoke and move them away from the quilt. Not the quilt, the whatchamacallit, cloth. That's what it's called. Okay, that should do. What I'll do, the bees will come off of it. I'll come back in half an hour and take that one away. No point in smoking them excessively. And peg that one back down. Stop anything going in. And in the meantime, we can have a look around and see what's growing. Over here, we've got radishes. They're actually getting a bit too big. I should probably pick some of them. These are swede, these ones here. Then we've got cabbages, but they've been eaten quite a lot by the butterflies and caterpillars. This is lettuce, so lots of lovely lettuce there ready for salads. We're actually in the end of August now. Beginning of September actually, 1st of September today. Got a couple of little lavenders, so they'll be good next year. I've only just put them in. These are called greyhound cabbages. They're like a pointed cabbage. That one's nearly ready actually. They're good. They haven't actually been attacked, and I haven't covered them at all with any netting. These are swede. You can see all the look what happens when I hit it. All these white little bugs. They don't seem to really affect it, but they just look a bit funny. But they're swede, so they're not ready yet. Got strawberry there. Then a few onions, and that's a Swiss chard over there. The tomatoes are looking a bit sorry for themselves, but that's only because I cut all the leaves off the other day to try and get the fruit to ripen, get a bit of sunlight on it. Are any ready? Oh, I can see a red one. There's a red one. Nice. Perfect cherry tomato. Here's a run of beans. And that would probably be one that you could pick. A bit too small. Well, not too small, but on the smaller side. And then they do grow much bigger than that. But I've already picked most of them. Beetroot. This is all beetroot along here. A bit more swede. And again, more swede just here. Leeks. That's all leeks. That's leeks there. So yeah, that's one of the beds. This bed over here, we've got some seedlings. These are snowball turnips. So they're growing there. More cabbages, some aloe vera. Oh, those have come up. There's another row of seeds just here, which are Brussels sprouts actually. That's a rhubarb plant. Underneath this tarp is another bed which I've spent all summer working on. I've grown 2 lots of green manure in it. I've done a crimson clover and a mustard, and I've rotivated that in each time, so the soil is much better quality, a lot more organic matter in it. And I've picked out, well, stones to the point where all of these stones here that make up this top area were taken from that bottom bed down there. So you can see how many stones I've picked out of that bottom bed. I mean, I haven't done it all in one go. I've done it over the course of the whole summer. And made this little path here with the stones from this top bed. And I made this little grass path just by taking grass that was actually covering that whole bed there. That was all grass, and I cut the grass off and then built up these paths on either side. That's why they're a bit bumpy, because it's just cut turf essentially, just chucked down on the edge of the ground here. And this path here as well is just made out of the grass that I've cut off of the bed to the left here. This one I've covered because I've not actually got anything to grow in it yet, but next year it will probably be potatoes, I would imagine. Lots of potatoes. Let's go back and have a look at the bees from the outside. I wonder if you can see through the screen there. You can see the actual cloth that I had on the floor is nearly got no bees on it, and the activity at the entrance is really calm. So all in all, that was a successful operation. And as you can see, I didn't use, go away wasp, I didn't use my gloves, I didn't use my veil, so you can see that beekeeping without all the protective equipment is possible if you're quiet, careful, and pay attention to your bees. If they look like they're getting angry, just pause and wait for them to calm back down again. Angry is probably the wrong word, they're more anxious, they're not angry, they're just like want you to not hurt them. That's all really. That's it for now. I'm going to pack up and we'll see you in the next video. So here we are, I've got the screen. I went it back inside the cage and picked it up off the floor. It didn't have any bees on it. Got a little dead bee just there, a dead bee just there. Little dead bee just there, or half a dead bee. Must have got squished at one point. So you can see nice neat tracks of propolis where the bees have tried to seal up the airflow so that they could reduce the airflow. That hive over there has got a screened bottom board, so they get quite a lot of airflow from the bottom, and then they probably don't need as much from the top, so that's why they block it up a bit. And all of this is lovely propolis as well, so it's really good sticky stuff. You could collect that up and you could take that like as a daily supplement for hay fever all throughout the winter, and then in the spring you shouldn't actually get any hay fever. Well, I shouldn't, because it's local pollen to me, but obviously you'd have to have local pollen to you, otherwise it wouldn't really work, would it? Because you're essentially inoculating yourself against your local pollen by consuming it all winter. You're pre-warning your immune response so you don't get hay fever. Anyway, that's it. We've collected the old screen, and that will become smoker fuel once I've picked off any of the propolis that I want. And I'll see you in the next video.